Professor DM here. Welcome to Dungeon Craft. Typically we talk about role-playing games, but this week we're talking about my health. I'm going to give you a health update. 2 years ago, I went for a routine physical, and it turned out my PSA levels were high, and we retested them again, then went for a biopsy and discovered I had early-stage prostate cancer. I chose to treat it with targeted radiation therapy, and it took 6 weeks of daily treatments. I had great doctors, nurses, and technicians who took care of me. I was fortunate to have the support of my loving family. When my son Joseph found out I was doing targeted radiation therapy, he sent me this as encouragement. He's got a sense of humor, that one. But seriously, I got so much support from my family, my friends, and my patrons like Brian and Candy, who gave me this prayer shawl. I will treasure it always, and I'm looking to seeing both of you again this year at Mythicon. And the good news is I no longer have cancer. I do have some side effects we'll talk about later. I actually gave a cancer update in my campaign video, Make It Epic, but not everybody saw that. I'm going to include a link to that one at the end of this video because I think it's one of my best. But I thought it was time to make a dedicated video where I just address these concerns, because coming up, I'm going to a lot of conventions in November and January. And when I meet people, one of the first things they ask me are, how are you feeling? How is the situation going? And that's because they didn't see those other videos. I appreciate the well wishes and people asking, but I'm getting to the point where I kind of want to talk about something else, like games. So that's why I wanted to just make this dedicated video today. And if you do want to meet me, I'm going to be at Mythicon in Charlotte, first weekend in November. Also, PAX Unplugged. I think that's the third weekend in November in Philadelphia. And you can play Deathbringer, my new tabletop role-playing game, kickstarting this spring. You can play with me live, either 8 or 9 in the morning. It's a Deathbringer sneak peek, and we're also going to do a live demonstration. So if you're in the Pennsylvania area, get your tickets for that. I'm also going to be at PAGE, the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo, in January, where I will be doing tons of events. These cons are a great place to meet me and test out Deathbringer. And if you are interested in Deathbringer, you can sign up in the newsletter in the links below. Believe it or not, I'm a very private person. I don't like a lot of attention. I never imagined this YouTube channel would have 150,000 subscribers. Because I do have a channel, I decided to go public. I thought it might make a difference if it could catch someone's cancer early. And it turns out it did. I meet tons of guys at conventions who said, I went to the doctor after seeing your video. Turns out I have prostate cancer. Or I've just completed treatment for prostate cancer. But that impact is limited because the YouTube algorithm is brutal. It stopped showing my videos after 2, 3, maybe 4 days. So I'm going to have to make these types of PSAs again and again and again. I think it's probably going to be in the fall on the anniversary or near the anniversary of me discovering I first had the cancer. Because anything old on YouTube just doesn't get showed. I'm just going to keep at it, making this video over and over again, encouraging men to get screened. I have to have a PSA test and a manual prostate check once per year. Prostate cancer feeds on testosterone, so I'm on a drug that lowers my testosterone. As a result, I've experienced some changes. I no longer have any kind of motivation to go to the gym or to lift weights. You know, when you're in your 20s or 30s, sometimes you feel like lifting something heavy. Yeah, I don't feel that anymore. I'm also more emotional. I cried at Inside Out 2. Last week, my wife asked me, hey, do you want to see Ed Sheeran in concert? And I was like, yeah, let's go. Like, that's something that wouldn't have happened before. I also have really bad hot flashes. They hit me 3 or 4 times a day. That's one of the reasons why you haven't been seeing me wear the tweed jacket or my vest of protection recently, because those are wool, and I have taken to wearing clothing that I can unbutton quickly, and also I don't have to tuck in. This shirt is by a company called Untuck It. They didn't sponsor this video, but I probably should contact them because I wear nothing but their shirts now, because if I have a hot flash, I could just kind of fluff myself. But these flashes are brutal. It feels like I'm standing on the surface of the sun. We're in the middle of Florida in July. I've also experienced weight gain, hitting my all-time top weight, which I am not going to share with you. So recently, I have undergone some lifestyle adjustments. I recently went to a physical, same doctor who discovered those high PSA levels, and he said, look, the good news is your PSA levels are fine. The bad news is you're pre-diabetic and you have high blood pressure. That was a real wake-up call. I have since reduced my intake of salt and caffeine. I've limited myself to one small Coke Zero per day. I walk a minimum of 5,000 steps before I eat my first solid food of the day, and I get at least 10,000 steps a day. Most days, over 15,000 steps. I do resistance training, lifting weights 5 or 6 days a week, which is really difficult because, again, I don't ever feel like doing it. I have to drag myself to the gym every day. I cook my own food. I eat clean, nothing out of a box, nothing out of a bag, nothing with preservatives. As Jack LaLanne said, if God didn't make it, I don't eat it. And I ingest an incredible amount of protein and creatine every day under a doctor's supervision. As a result, I've lost a little weight, prompting some people to ask, am I okay? Like they think maybe the cancer has returned. But actually, I can assure you I am in good health and I feel better than ever. Now here's the lectury part. You got to get yourself checked. If you're a man over 50, you should be getting a prostate exam every year. You should get an annual physical and test those PSA levels. Cancer affects everyone. Former President Biden just completed treatment for advanced prostate cancer. Cartoonist and YouTuber Scott Adams is undergoing an experimental drug regimen to address his advanced state prostate cancer. We don't do politics here, and I realize these guys are on the opposite side, but I don't think anyone should die of prostate cancer. Frank Zappa, Bill Bixby, Alan Rickman, and William Hurt all died of prostate cancer. And I don't know what their medical histories or situations were, but it is a slow-moving cancer. For most people, it's not aggressive. So if you get it checked and you discover it early, you have a high percentage chance of beating it. But so often we're busy with this or that. I myself have multiple jobs, so I know how busy life can be. And we're often trying to provide for the ones we love. And while we're doing that, we neglect our own health. And we shouldn't do that. So if your father had prostate cancer, you are more likely to have it. Mine did. And we never talked about it. We never talked about his health. He suffered in silence. And I really didn't know he was dealing with that. And I think that he wanted to be strong for his family. He didn't want to bother people. But then when it came time for me to have prostate cancer and I got it early, like that would have been really helpful to have known that. That's why I've told my sons, look, my father had prostate cancer, I had prostate cancer. Starting at 45, you're going to have to get checked for prostate cancer because you're at increased risk. So get your PSA levels checked once a year, and if you're a male over 50, get that manual prostate exam done. Take care of yourself. There are people in this world, your family, your friends, who are counting on you. And here endeth the rant. If you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe. Thanks again for all the well wishes and prayers. I'll be back with gaming content next week. Until then, may all your rolls be 20s.
Ha! Ed Sheeran.
I heard you listening to John Mayer the other day.
And you better be okay with it. Now click on this video.